welcome to the Live Well podcast. I am so honored to be sitting with Melissa Mueller-Douglas of Chocolate Mindfulness. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's good to be here.
Yes, it's great to chat with you. You just flew back into Ireland.
Indeed.
Okay, you're from here.
I am.
You're from here and currently living in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your journey from here to there and back to here.
Okay. Well, little known fact, I was born and raised in New York. My family on my dad's side is all here in Grand Cayman, and my mom's side is all from the States. And so I actually, when you asked that question, right, am I from here?
Mm-hmm.
I just applied for and received my Caymanian status last year in July.
Okay.
And it brought a tear to my eye, knowing that I've always been Caymanian, but for the government to say yes with this sticker, you are Caymanian.
Right.
But I will just share that I came here thinking yesterday, okay, what am I going to do? I went through the Caymanian line so much faster.
It is so much. I mean, even the resident line versus the visitor line. Like once I came as a resident, I was like, oh my God, this is so much greater. So
quite lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And then my first stop was going to the library and just saying, am I eligible for a library
card? Okay.
True story, you are not.
No.
So I wasn't able to get one, but
I
wanted to know, what can this piece of paper do? Because I love to read. So that was my first stop.
Okay. So we didn't get the library card.
Not yet.
Okay, but you're officially, I mean, it's your heritage, but via the government.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's an honor. So Dr. Kalila Bodden connected us. Mm-hmm. She reached out to me last year, and she knows, my ethos, and that one, I love people, and I love learning about people, and I love learning about what drives them, but also wellness as my lifestyle and passion. And so she started connecting me with other people who are very passionate about well-being and wellness. And so she said, hey, there's a lady, she's doing phenomenal work. She hosts these wellness retreats, and I think you two should connect. And I said, okay, let's do it. So let's connect. And so when I don't know if it was her or you or just researching and I saw chocolate mindfulness. I was like, okay, I've never heard of that in my entire life. And I've been in wellness for like 22 years. And I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. I want to learn more. So please tell us about that, like the entire, like where you got the idea, what the everything. Just tell us everything.
Yes. When you eat a piece of chocolate, you're not worrying about the past or thinking about the future. Even if it's not a chocolate that you like, you're fully immersed in that sensory experience. The aroma, the textures, the taste, right? The sound of the snack. And so we start there. For people who say that they don't know how to meditate or they don't know where to begin, I ask them if they know how to eat a piece of chocolate. And they say, of course.
Well, yeah, everything.
Of course. And then they go into, a story about their grandmother's chocolate cake, or, going to campfire and making s'mores with a type of chocolate. And you get to know something about them. You get to know about their relationships to others. You get to know their relationships with nature in that case, right? Being out camping. And it's not only a conversation starter, but it's something that typically elicits joy within them, which is the type of experience that I want people to have when they're meeting me or when I'm in their presence. And so starting with that, I then ask them to reflect. Okay, so we just shared a piece of chocolate. Most people go on coffee dates, right? Professionally, they'll take somebody out for coffee. I take people out for chocolate. I don't drink coffee.
No, okay, this is great. Okay.
So we have a piece of chocolate together. We savor it mindfully. And then I ask them, what did that feel like for you?
Okay.
And typically people will say, I've had this chocolate so many times before, but I've never had it in this particular way. And so I say, what does that mean to you? What is that like? And they'll say, it's being present. I'm fully present in the moment. Which is a general definition for mindfulness.
For mindfulness, yes.
And from there, we say, one, where can you use that skill that you have within you?
Okay.
And typically, people will say, before I go and speak, like here,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
A conversation with someone, or being on stage,
Yeah.
or doing any sort of presentation, or even bookends. So the beginning of your day or the end of your day, when you want to get grounded,
Yeah.
just have a small piece of chocolate.
Okay.
Continue to practice it so that you get used to knowing what to anticipate might happen next.
Okay.
But be open to what will happen.
I've never heard anyone have chocolate and say, man, that was a terrible experience. Like, I hated it.
Right?
Just so bad. The coupling of this joyful, flavorful experience with the concept of meditation. Did you always have that? And I would assume you understood meditation before you understood to couple it with chocolate.
So there's two answers to that question, and they go hand in hand.
Okay.
The first is, I believe that we were all born mindful. If you see, I just saw a butterfly fly by. If I was my 3, 4, 5-year-old self, I would have stopped. I would have looked more than just out of my periphery, and I would have admired that and seen where it landed, and perhaps tried to catch it, or just observe it. I wouldn't have taken out my phone. I would have truly been there with the butterfly. And so seeing that in our kids, seeing that in myself, I know that we're highly capable of that. Even watching our kids eat food, it's the highest compliment when they eat a dish that I've made and they just have this hum of joy, right? And they're truly in the moment with that food, that experience. So number one, I was born with it. Number two is that why chocolate, right? And did we start with chocolate? We didn't start with chocolate. We started with cheesecake. It happened to be chocolate cheesecake.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But for the first
these are all great things.
the first ever chocolate mindfulness experience, everyone had a small piece of cheesecake. And we went through the meditation. And every single woman who was there said it felt like time stood still. And it was so beautiful for them to witness and be a part of.
Right.
Because they knew that they could repeat that experience.
Yes.
With a caveat that they could not eat a piece of cheesecake every day. And I said, I understand. I would never prescribe for you, right?
From a nutritional wellness standpoint.
Not ideal. But I said, what is something that you're already eating every day that you would like to be more present with? And every single person said chocolate. Typically, they're having it as a celebration. They're having it if they're feeling sad. They're having it if they're feeling mad, right? All of these lonely, all of these emotions. So I said, what if we tied chocolate to well-being? And every time you set your intention to go for a walk, or set your intention to be silent for an hour or a couple minutes, whatever it is for you, that you reward yourself with a small piece of chocolate. And we lit up, and we started and haven't looked back.
Wow. I love that. Everyone I talk to about, I mention what you do just briefly, and they're like, sign me up. Like, because that it emotes such warm feelings and memories. It's funny when you mentioned about the kids humming as a compliment to chef, to mom, right? It's my sisters and my brother know this. When I was a kid, I used to sing. I had a song before dinner time, and it was, I don't know if I sang it every day, but I don't know when it started, when it stopped. But here's the song. I would say, I'm going to clap my hands. I'm going to stomp my feet. I can't wait till my soul eats. And I was just like, where did that come from?
What a ritual.
But before dinner time, I would sing this song, and I because I love to eat. As a kid, and mom was such a phenomenal cook. And so I think to your point of these, it's bringing the joy, the memory, the mind, all of this together with being in that moment. Because at the dinner table, when families, sit at the dinner table, which is rare nowadays, we sat there, we were present. with each other, and we talked.
That's right.
And there were no phones back then. We didn't have cell phones when I was a kid.
Yep.
We didn't have TV in the kitchen, right? It was us.
Mm-hmm.
We were there. So the concept of being present with the chocolate is, to me, it's incredible. But like you said, it could be a variety of things. It could be like you started with cheesesteak. Right. So when did you switch from cheesecake to chocolate?
After day one.
After day one.
I always listen to my clients, my customers. So that first group of paid people who came in to experience it, they told me chocolate would be the thing.
Wow.
And I haven't looked back.
Okay. So, and that was here on island.
That was 2017 in New York.
In New York. Okay. So that the first one was in New York. Types of chocolate, does it matter?
It matters to me that the company is ethical.
Okay.
It matters to me that they're paying their farmers fairly, because chocolate doesn't get born in a wrapper. It starts as cacao and a seed, and I want to support the process and the people throughout the process. So I have a connection to the brand ethos of the companies that I partner with. Okay. And then, of course, it has to taste good, because I'm not going to suggest a chocolate that I don't think tastes good. But those are two of the most key things. And then I like to give a variety of chocolates where there's many people who say they only like milk, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. However, most people haven't heard of dark milk. And when I share
Never heard of that.
dark milk chocolate with people, they say, where has this been all my life?
Okay.
And it's like this gateway to this closed mind of, I only eat milk, I'll never try dark.
Okay.
To, okay, I see this, it smells good, it looks good, it has all of these awards internationally and nationally. Now I'm going to try it. And when they do, they say that reflective piece of, what else in my life have I been thinking? I only like this, I don't like that. Black and white thinking is what we call it in social work. I'm a licensed master social worker. But then they say, what else is there out there that I thought I didn't like, or I thought wouldn't bring me value, that perhaps now that I'm a day older or in a different mindset, and there's different contexts, could feel different. And that's where we bring it into the corporate world, because many people have quarterly, monthly board meetings, for instance. And they feel like every time it goes the same way, the same people say the same things, and there's the same problems and the same solutions. But if you come at it, instead of that milk chocolate mentality, with a dark milk, or even a leaning towards the possibility of dark mindset.
My favorite, but go ahead,
I remember. If you come open-minded, that perhaps there could be some incredible aha moment, or there could be a connection that you make with somebody that you never knew would be somebody who was compatible to go out sailing with, or to join a project with. It could be a really, really exciting meeting to experience and to be present for, which presence is one of the most powerful things to be as a leader. Being present.
So you mentioned corporations. Tell us the scope of your services. Who do you offer chocolate mindfulness to?
Here in Grand Cayman, currently, it's for executive women. I bring women on island to have this 6-day chocolate mindfulness experience. And today, starting today, as you know, one of our retreats commences, and the theme is Be the Architect of Your Legacy.
Love it.
So I share that because many people that I speak to, I think I could venture to say there's nobody I have spoken to who hasn't shared with me that it matters to them how they're remembered, or that they at least live a life that is memorable. And so with that, I work with companies from their leadership to their entry-level employees to first connect with themselves through chocolate mindfulness, connect with their colleagues, connect with the mission, the vision, the values, and then for the bottom line, what seems to be the most important is being able to connect with customers, right? In a genuine, authentic way. But if you're not connecting with yourself in that way, you're very unlikely, or it's not going to be genuine to connect with your clients and customers in a way that's memorable, sustainable, and repeatable.
What other services do you offer?
So I want to make it accessible. It's really important to me to have a thriving business that also offers access to anyone. So we have the My Retreat app, which has daily 2-minute meditations you pair with chocolate as your tangible reward.
Which I've tried.
Thank you. It's free.
Uh-huh.
It's completely free. And you can use your chocolate, that's your favorite. You can use our chocolate subscription if you're within the United States, because I haven't tried to ship chocolate internationally. Not from me, but certainly we do it from other companies that ship internationally. So that's for anyone. And what I typically hear, people will hop on our call once or twice a week. We have a 20-minute session that's live and again free. As a bite-sized experience of what we offer to corporate. And they'll say, I didn't know how much I needed this until I was here. And then they'll stay in touch and they'll share, my kid was having a really rough day. I realized I was having a really rough day. So I turned on the app. I listened to a 2-minute mindful meditation and I felt grounded almost immediately. So anywhere from kids to families to professionals.
Okay. I love it. So it's inclusive. It's yes, we have the executive women. It seems like that was sort of the initial, maybe the initial focus, but it's branching out because of the importance of the entire family, understanding the importance of mindfulness and how that spreads.
I'm glad you recapped that because let me be clear, the men who get to enjoy chocolate mindfulness, the executive men and otherwise, say, where's our chocolate mindfulness retreats? And so I do, of course, all genders are a part of our B2B chocolate mindfulness workshops.
Okay.
It's just the retreats where I'm on site living with the ladies that currently are for all women.
And maybe there's an offshoot where the men are in their own space, a separate space, right? And then they come together. I think it brings up one of the things I've seen with a lot of retreats is that sometimes men feel left out. They feel that wellness is women driven and for women. And I have to remind them that that's not necessarily the case, although it may seem that way. Wellness and retreats can be very inclusive. And if you look at some of the major ones, they never exclude men from every part. Like you said, yours, you have a specific section that men are welcome. But I think it is more the communication, reaching out to the men to say, no, you are welcome for this. And it's not just I would say maybe stereotypical women in yoga pants, right? Because that typically drives a lot of what we see on like social media. And so they're like, well, I'm not going to that, or I'm not welcome to that. But all the same, it's that important for everyone to understand how do we be present and how that even affects our relationships. And when you're talking marriages and being a partner, how can I be present? How can I be in that space where my partner feels seen and heard? We're not just eating chocolate for the sake of eating chocolate. We are eating chocolate and combining it with mindfulness for the sake of practicality, a concept that you can take. So when you're with your partner, it's like, this is that chocolate moment. And so she understands that, wow, he's really into me. He's looking, he's hearing, he's active listening. Tell me about some of the feedback you've received. One that just jumps out like, oh my God, this was an amazing transformation, a realization.
First, I just want to riff off of what you said. This isn't just chocolate for the sake of eating chocolate. I would raise that to saying this isn't just life for the sake of living life.
Okay, yeah.
And so when you get what you're talking about, that it's not just I'm going to watch a movie while eating chocolate and then turn to my partner and say, where did all the chocolate go? And then they're looking at you like, I didn't eat any. It was all you, right? Similarly with life, some people are just going through the motion, feeling like they're being on autopilot. But when they're using our chocolate mindfulness method, they're pausing and saying, no, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Yes, I want to be remembered. Even if it's not exactly the way that they anticipated, they can be intentional about the way that they show up. So when I talk about legacy, I believe that legacy happens in micro moments. I believe that our legacy, of course, happens over decades, but there are those micro moments that are happening where we have an opportunity to ask ourselves, how do we want people to feel in our presence? And then what do I need to do to make that possible? And then, of course, how did that person actually feel? Because just because it's your intention doesn't mean that's how the person felt.
Right.
And finally, what do I need to strengthen, to do more of or less of, so that I can continue with this intentionality of being fully present with people and helping them to feel the energy that I want them to feel, the energy I want to bring into certain conversation experiences. I have to do that for myself first before I teach or show, right? You have to role model before you can say, this is how you do something. You just do it yourself.
Yeah.
That has been one of the most powerful pieces. Last time in December here in Grand Cayman, we hired a videographer to do our testimonials. And I was there behind camera and asking the question. And each lady, the first thing that they said was, the greatest benefit, the reason why I came, the greatest takeaway was being with and around you, Melissa. And the first thought in my mind was, all my testimonials can't be the same. And
how much did you pay them to say
exactly,
that?
exactly.
The script, yeah.
But
I get it. Yeah.
But then as I watched the video, the recordings afterwards, right? I realized that that's the point, right? It's about connection first.
Yes.
They feel connected to me to the point where they say yes to the experience. Once we're there, I'm with them through meals, through the adventures to the crystal caves and the bioluminescence tour. I'm helping them as I co-create their masterminds in the beginning, and then there with them while they're presenting their masterminds. I lead the chocolate tastings with them. So it makes sense why they would say that, but then it's afterwards. So we do retreat reunions quarterly after a retreat. So every 3 months we all get together on, virtually. Everybody gets shipped chocolate. So we do our chocolate tasting, and then we talk about our takeaways, what we're implementing, because that's the most important part. Right? You don't just do a practice, you implement it afterwards if it's truly going to last and be beneficial. And that's where they're saying that same thing, echoes of, I honed my inner Melissa and presented in this way, or and eventually I think with time that'll go to chocolate mindfulness, because I'm not someone, I'm not a vain person. I don't tell them say this or think this.
Right.
But it has become almost synonymous when somebody's saying, I engaged in the challenge or the conflict in a way that I thought you would do that. I see the shift slowly happening to the chocolate mindfulness way. And that to me is a spark of magic.
I love it. I love it. There's something that one of my mentors in business from years ago when I was just starting my business, and he reminded me, he says, Tim, and this was when I was a personal trainer and I was starting up my business and wanting to open my own gym, which I did later on. He says, people aren't paying for training. They're paying for you. It's you. You are really the product. It is, like you said, how people remember their encounter with you, their experience with you. And that speaks volumes of the quality of what you bring, that all these women had a similar experience, but then more importantly, after, like you said, afterwards, I'm thinking like this, what would Melissa do in this situation? Which that's all we can hope for. That's why we do what we do, is making that impact that people are improving their life and their responses to what happens. And that's just incredible. So kudos to you for that. And I want to end this conversation with the question I ask everyone. What does wellness mean to you?
To me, wellness is part of my legacy. It means that I'm pausing every day to remember that I came from somewhere and I'm going back to somewhere. In Islam, I believe this life not being the end of everything, and many other religious backgrounds believe that too. When you die, it's not just the end,
it's not the end,
but we're living for a purpose, and we have a purpose. And so wellness to me is that remembrance of there's something much greater than I am that's happening here. Wellness to me means the water that we drink right before getting on, remembering that I am also a part of this body that I walk through life in, and that I need to take care of it, whether it's from those phenomenal garden veggie burgers that we tried in Thatch and Barrel, which I get to have tonight.
Okay,
so
wonderful.
excited. So it's what you put into your body, right? It's remembering that without that, and it's very relevant for me just having gone off of the month of Ramadan, fasting for a month, that as you see yourself slowly draining with energy, that you're cognizant of it, and you pause and figure out what you need so that you can replenish and show up as your best self in every situation, because that's what I can ask for, and that's what I aspire to, is to show up as my best self in every interaction. So what does wellness mean to me? Certainly it's an amalgamation of things. Another thing is saying no. Using my favorite word, because it protects my time, it protects my energy, and it also is such a gift to other people, so that it protects their time and their energy so they can spend it doing the things that will bring them joy, happiness, well-being. Overall, I love that word wellness because it has so many connotations. I think some people think it's like a crunchy granola word, but if you're not well, you're not able to show up in business and make the money that you're looking to make, or show up in community and make the connections that you want to make, or show up for yourself and be the playful, loving person that you want to be.
Wonderful. How can people find you? How do they reach you?
The My Retreat app. Download. Ooh, now that's intentional. Let me tell you about that. That's another part of my wellness.
I love it.
So I'll tell you about that. But it's the My Retreat app, and it's free on Android and iPhone. And every Wednesday at 2:00 Eastern, and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm there live. So I'm happy to connect, chat about what people's favorite chocolate is, do a 2-minute meditation, and then connect people to my community, because I'm a builder. I like to build community and connect with community.
Love it.
But what I'll end on here, as far as my wellness, is protecting our time, right?
So that was the alarm.
So that was the alarm. I know you know.
That's why I knew I was wrapping up.
I know.
An inner clock.
Your inner clock is spot on. And so I do that in gatherings, when I go to networking events. I do it when I'm in a conversation with somebody.
Yes.
If I know that I want to be fully present, the alarm has my back. So I know when I have to say, I'm going to bid you adieu. It's
absolutely
time.
Which it is time to wrap it up.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing you in our next podcast. So thank you, Melissa.
Take good care.